On this episode, we want to give a shout out to Shelby Bottoms Nature Center and Park. We love this park. When we were deciding to do dad walks, we knew this was the park we wanted to go to. They've got lakes, they've got playgrounds, they've got baseball fields, they've got it all. You've got to check out Shelby Bottoms Nature Center and Park. We're doing a little throwback episode.
Yeah, Devon.
Doing an end of the year episode.
End of 2023.
End of 2023. We're recording in my wife's office. We were going to record on Sunday at our normal studio spot, but you've been trying to wean Ada off a pacifier.
Yep.
And you were like, I'm good. I feel like it's better if I stay around here and help. And it was better if I stayed around and helped around the house also. But we want to make sure to get this out before the end of the year. And the next 2 weekends are Christmas and New Year's. So,
yep. Dude, this whole month has just been crazy. Has it been crazy for you?
No, man. Like, basically, when you have kids, Thanksgiving happens, and then you don't exist until, like, the second weekend of January. Like, every weekend, every week is just something else.
Yeah. I wish it was not like that.
Yeah, me too. Because I feel like whenever you have so many plans, it's hard to feel like, I feel like when I think of being a kid and like the mystique of Christmas, it's mostly like carefreeness, right? And whenever you're an adult, you're just constantly like, oh, now I got to do this. Okay, I need to make sure I'm on top of this. And you're like just constantly making sure you're on top of things. And it feels doubled because you include your family, you include other families to come over for Christmas. And you look up and you're like, oh, this is a lot sometimes.
This Christmas season, though, has been the most exciting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is
just
that?
having Ada be more aware.
Yeah.
And she does not like Santa, by the way.
No?
We tried to do pictures with Santa, and she did not. I'll have to show them to you later.
You should.
But she does like a lot of the Christmas stuff. So, like the Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, she really liked that. It's Christmas Again, Charlie Brown. She liked that one. And she just got done watching the Muppets
Christmas Carol?
Christmas Carol, yeah.
I mean,
I was like, is that going to be too scary for her? But but the spirits were all Muppets, so
it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this year, Josh can say pretty lights,
you
know, which is super cute. Like, it just, whenever your kid can react or interact with stuff more, it makes holidays feel very different.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
But
we're going to try to discuss, this is the first time we've done a Just You and I episode since like March. So, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
If even that.
Well, I was looking back to try to figure out when we actually started, like, just at the studio, the new studio, and it was February.
February? Okay.
February. Well, we launched Brandon's February 27th. So
gotcha.
Was it like two weeks earlier?
2 weeks earlier, probably.
So mid-February?
Yeah, February-ish.
And then our lives changed because
Yes.
we did so many podcasts after.
Do you want me? I looked up the stats. Do you want me to tell you the stats?
Yes.
As a number nerd. So I'm just going to tell you this. In our first year, 2022, we released 26 episodes.
Yeah.
We had 593 downloads, and we had 3 guests on. So that were our stats for our first year. 2023 stats. We released, I'm pretty sure, 44 episodes, maybe 45, including this one. We had over 3,000 downloads.
Woo.
And 42 guest on. So that means there are maybe 2 episodes in which it was you and I talking.
And
in there also is like that bonus Black Abbey episode in which we had we met up with Isaiah and Carl and talked for like 3 hours. And I was like, no one wants to listen to this for 3 hours, but there's some funny stuff in here.
So we did it. Yeah, we made that one into 2, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, back in like May, I think is whenever I realized like, hey man, I've got, like, the people were recorded in April. I don't think we'll be able to release their episodes until, like, August. So we should probably start releasing weekly. Mm-hmm. And so, we went from bi-weekly to weekly. And, we've only double-dipped on an interview once, and that was with Brandon. And besides that, it's been new people that we've met.
And we still have people.
Yeah, I've already booked out all of January and all but 1 weekend in February.
Okay. What about...
Yeah.
Gosh, my mind blanked.
It's okay.
Blanked. Did we ever hear back from
Ricky?
Yes, Ricky.
Now I need to text him again. He had said like, I'm good for any Thursday in January, but then I sent him some dates and he never responded. So we've got Ricky Young from Wild Feathers on hold, and we've got Dave Barnes and John McLaughlin on hold.
Yeah.
And also Sadler Vaden from Jason Isbell are the three who like we're just trying to knock down a date, and all three of those would be like pretty legit, pretty cool to be able to talk to.
Yeah. So all right. I guess we just have to.
We just keep following
trying.
up. It's
trying.
You just keep saying like, "Hey man, do you think this is a good thing?" And we had like reached out to Nate Bargatze, and they're like, "Try Nate, back at the beginning of the year." And I'm like, "But he's blown up since like
I know
3 months ago."
Since we got in touch with his assistant.
Yeah.
Man, he was on SNL.
He was on SNL.
He was on
Manning,
what was it?
He was on the Manning cast, like he did the Monday Night Football with them.
Yeah.
He's been everywhere, and honestly, good for him. That dude's good at what he does, and he seems like a good person.
But I still say we try to get him.
Yeah, of course we're still going to try it. But
that would be so awesome.
Yes, it would be. Yeah, we don't like. I don't know if anyone who listens to this realizes that like we still are mostly flying by the seat of our pants. Of like, wouldn't it be cool if we could talk to this guy?
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, I literally will just look at Instagram and be like, "Oh yeah, he lives in Nashville.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Let me reach out to him."
Yep.
Yeah,
and then you find out.
Yep, either that or like what was his name, Michael from Nashville Parent Magazine.
Yeah, Michael Aldrich. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, huh.
Hey,
he lives here in Nashville. He's a dad.
Yeah,
let's have him on.
Writes about fatherhood. Maybe.
And the crazy part is I would say 90% of the people that we reach out to are like, yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
actually
on board.
We always have to make sure to give you credit for wanting to start this podcast, because I feel like you always had the energy of like, dude, people would love to like this is something, if you're a father, you're looking for a connection point like this, just to hear dads sit down and talk. Yep. And it's reinforced almost every single time we reach out to someone. We're like, oh yeah, man, I'd love to come on. Yep. And I'm like, wait, you really want to hang out and talk about being a dad? And they're like, yeah, man, that'd be an awesome time. Like, when do I show up and where?
It's that, and then there are those that have said, yeah, I'll come on, but I mean, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, just your story.
Yeah, man.
Just your life story.
I think I always try to, I know you've heard me say this a million times, but anyone who's a guest on is like, if you are expecting yourself to be an expert in fatherhood, that is not our expectation.
You are a liar.
Of you at all, because I do feel like there's already so many mediums out there of like, here's how you be the best father possible. And I'm like, man, but what type of dad are you today?
Yeah.
Because you have to start there.
And your child is totally different from the next. So
correct, yes.
Whatever you're telling me to do is probably not going to work on the next
correct.
one.
And there's probably some truth to what you're doing, and there's also stuff that won't benefit me one bit.
Yeah.
So,
all right. More stats. Have you? What are some more stats?
Yeah, those were the only stats I really pulled up. The other thing I want to make sure to note of how much fun this is pretty much a good majority of the guests we've never met before they walk into the studio. Yeah. And that was a definite learning experience for us this year. Of like, I felt like around minute 30 is whenever we would find a groove in almost every single episode.
Yeah.
But like the first couple was kind of like first 10 minutes of like, I don't know, like, okay, yeah, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like I know who he is from his Instagram bio, but
it's good to have that on as well, just to get that lead up. But yes, totally. It was around 25, 30, maybe 45 minutes with some people of finally getting that rhythm. Finally, like, okay, I can be a little bit more relaxed with you, or okay.
Yeah, or you find like the point where, because ultimately if we're doing a good episode, we're providing prompts for someone to talk to us about their life.
Yeah.
So you and I are mostly sitting there being like, how do you feel about this? Do you like this? And then hopefully bantering with them in some way. Yep. Shows more of the personality, shows more of their heart. And then we just hang out for a bit.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh, I thought it was going to be more structured. I thought you guys were going to ask a whole lot of questions.
Nope. We can. It would drastically change the vibe.
Yep.
I think so.
Just three guys shooting the shit. Or four, because we have had two episodes.
Yeah, I think only 2 episodes where we had 2 people on.
Yep.
But, yeah, man, it's been really fun. I think the coolest thing is just meeting new people and just being aware of how much of a need for dad community there is, and how many dads are genuinely like, yeah, I'd love to talk about being a father.
Yeah.
It's just something that genuinely surprises me every single time we meet up with a new dad.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
It's cool.
And also, mad props to you with Dad Walk. Like, the Dad Walk is actually a legitimate thing now. It's not just us meeting up around the corner and walking our streets.
Although the last 3 or 4 weeks we have not done it. A, because I've been out of town, or it's been too cold or rainy.
Yeah, so that's the only downside to the Dad Walk is, like, we could do it at Opry Mills Mall, but I don't want to go near Opry Mills Mall for the entire month of December.
Heck no. It would take like an hour just to get into the parking lot. And then, oh man, I remember going in there during the Christmas holiday and just being like, this was probably about 12 years ago, and being like, never again.
Why did I do this?
Never again.
If it's like, I'll take Josh there if it's like a Wednesday morning, it's raining and like, 40 degrees outside and it's like 9 a.m., then I could go out there with Josh and like go walk around for like an hour or something like that. Because at like 9 or 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, no one's really there.
Yeah.
But like Thursday through Monday, I expect people to be like everywhere. Like, at all times. So especially
after like 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get in like whenever they're unlocking the doors.
Yeah.
Or just stay away. Stay away forever. What about you? What do you feel like, let's see. Oh, other stats. I did have, the most downloaded episode was Freddie O'Connell, which I feel like can be expected since he was running for mayor.
That was so cool.
It was.
Thanks, Freddie.
I think the best compliment I know I received from people was them being like, oh man, every time I hear like a politician speak, I just want to know what they're like as a normal person.
Yeah.
And your podcast provided that. That episode was just Freddie sitting there being a dad and hanging out. And it made me feel like I understood who he was when he wasn't like, campaigning, basically.
Well, shit, man, we should probably have some more people on like that. Just
right,
so
though?
We can know or get to know them on a more personal level. Yeah. And have everybody in Nashville do it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like,
that's probably a good idea.
Yep. Anyone who's run for office, something like that, if it makes sense for us to meet up and hang out, I'd happily do it.
Yeah.
But that was probably one of the cooler compliments I didn't anticipate from this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you this yet, but Casey, who was just on like a week or two ago, the Casey Woods, called me and was like, dude, I had a pretty bad week. And then we released the episode, and like doing that episode was like one of my favorite things since moving to Nashville. So thanks a lot for what you guys do. And I'm just like, oh, cool. That's good. Thank you for telling me that, because it's really easy just to be like, oh, we're just meeting up, hanging out. And then like someone reminds you like, hey, this is actually an encouraging thing to be a part of. And you're like, oh, thanks.
That's awesome.
That means more than I'm willing to express. So.
Awesome. Who was, and we're going to get into a little bit of a nitty gritty here.
Ooh, yeah.
Who was your most exciting person to talk to?
Okay, I'm going to say the person we talked to that I think made me rethink the podcast the most was probably actually Sean Newsom for Hi-Fi Cookies.
Okay.
Because we talked to him about therapy, depression, emotions, and all of that. And then afterwards, he actually like found a therapist. Like, and he actually like is figuring out how to take the time to take care of himself more. And he was like pretty much like, because of like we talked and we hung out, and you guys reminded me that like I need to make sure to take care of myself more. And I never thought that like that type of positive impact would come from just hanging out with someone, So I feel like that was the first moment, because I would have been back in like whenever Taylor Swift was in town. So like the first weekend of May. I think that was like the first episode where someone was like, hey, since we talked, here's how I need to take care of myself more. Yeah. And I didn't realize until hanging out with other dads and just talking about life.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. As far as like one where I sit there and I'm like, oh, that means that's not something I anticipated. That's definitely pretty high up there.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. What about you? What's the episode?
Ben Cornfield.
Yeah, man.
He was energetic, and he had some cool stories to tell. And I think you had pointed this out as well. I was in it.
Yeah.
In that conversation, and I was just like, man, a lot of the things that he was talking about were all like wishes or goals that I wanted to do.
Yep. No, I told you that was one of my favorite episodes to edit because I didn't talk a lot. And it meant that you were so genuinely like, dude, tell me about your, like, not that you weren't always genuinely, but like you were very much like, dude, how did you do that? Dude, that's really cool. Like you were just excited to hear his story.
Yeah.
Where, like sometimes in a conversation, you just realize the best thing you can do for the conversation is not talk. Yeah. So you just sit back and are like, yeah, man, like tell me more. So no, that was a really cool one to be part of. And also, I like to look at the arc of episodes. So we had Ben on, And then we had like 5 dads who all live in the Creefall area afterwards, basically. We had Chris Chang on, and then we had pretty much every dad at 12
And
South Farmers
Markets.
We had Ron Pope on, and then we've had like a myriad of like musicians who are dads, which I would have never expected.
Musicians are a producer. We have had one producer.
Aaron's
Mitch?
a producer. Mitch is a producer.
That's right.
Having Soccer Moses on, of course, was really fun.
Yeah, Soccer Moses.
Because he's just a ridiculous person. Or that was really fun to text Mitch and be like, hey, do you think Steven would want to come on a dad podcast? Because he seems like a ridiculous person. He was like, oh, yeah, you need it. Here's his number. Just text him. So, no, I don't know. That's the one thing I want to make sure to overemphasize and express is like dads are willing to share their stories and their lives with us. And it is a great responsibility and privilege to be able to share that story with people.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is. It's having started this in your kitchen. I think we're like, wouldn't this be cool one day if we were able to do something more like what we're doing right now? And we are. So it's kind of like, oh man, let's just not mess it up.
We won't. But
we won't.
If there are any other dads out there, we don't have to reach out to you. If you guys want to come on the podcast, just reach out to us.
Yep.
If you know us personally, just call us, or you guys can reach out through Instagram and just DM us. So
yep. Instagram's probably the best way to reach out.
Yeah.
Also, I guess I did start hijacking your Instagram in the middle of the year.
Hey, man. This year has been crazy for work in the landscape business.
Well, I think like back in March or so, Haley, your wife, because you and Haley mostly ran and did all the posts and stuff, she was like, hey, this actually takes a lot of time if like if one of you wants to help out. And I was like, oh, I'll start. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to see more of my weird personality, but here we go.
Yeah. Well, she was also doing the pictures when we weren't at the studio.
Yeah.
And she was doing a lot of Photoshop.
Yep.
Where now we can just take a picture and have our logo in the back. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I kind of got that from the Joe Rogan.
Did you?
podcast.
Nice.
I mean, all it was is just them in front of in front of their mic.
Yep.
So I was like, we can do that.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be fancy.
Yep. But thanks, Haley, for everything you've done for this podcast.
Yep. Including doing the shirts and hats that we
still need to look at.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like the hat.
Okay.
But I found another one.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
So.
But yeah. No, it's I felt like I had a point there, but I didn't.
Sorry.
Thanks, Haley. But let's see. We've already said most impactful episode. Okay, so here's the best way I could think to end the episode.
Okay.
Is that we have not done the 5 questions for each other.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to pull up the 5 questions, and we have to actually answer them because we haven't, like, on record answered what our answers are.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
I
dun.
knew this day would come.
Yeah. Well, everyone asks, like, we get people ask us, like, what's your answer for that? And we're like, oh, we don't answer these questions. These are for you.
Yeah.
I'll make you answer first to make you uncomfortable.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for, Justin, just to make you slightly uncomfortable at times. Justin, what was Ada's backup name?
I have the list on an app, but I can't open it up right now.
You can't? Okay.
So I can't remember. I know one of them was Octavia.
Was Harper one of them?
That was one that I wanted, but she did not. She vetoed that like crazy.
She's like, I'm not feeling Octavia.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
And Octavius for a boy. I think that would have been pretty cool.
Cool.
I know. That's cheesy.
Okay, let's see. Backup names for me. I think we were pretty all in on Holly. We had thought Harper for a little bit, but then we really went all in on the plant theme and thought Holly would be a better name. For Magnolia, actually, no, I should state this first. If I had a girl, I always wanted to name her Emmeline because I like the name Emmeline a lot. It's also my favorite Ben Folds song. There's a random tidbit for you.
Okay. Isn't there a movie as well?
I don't actually know. Emmeline. Either way, Heather was like, Emmeline and Emma is every girl's name right now. So do you want, like, you can't do it. And I was like, fine. For Magnolia, we almost named her Marigold, in which we would have called her Mary for short, like with an I, which I was like, I thought that would have been really cute, but Magnolia made more sense. And for Josh, there's no other plant name besides Josh that really works.
Yeah, for
besides
a boy.
like Sage, but I have like a cousin named Sage, so I couldn't really go that route. It's like boy names are so much less exciting to name than girl names.
Yeah.
Because I feel like girl names are like cute and whimsical, and boy names are either like strong or just a little weird. You know, like it's like, what's your name? James. What's your name? Devon. All right, James.
Devon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's just a little bit different. Oh, that's the other fun thing that's come from this podcast. Just to add it in there, you and I have both, like, whenever we've had, like, we've asked our friends to come on, and I feel like I've reconnected with like tons of friends now because of being like, hey, do you want to come on a podcast? And they're like, yeah, and they're like, dude, that's really fun. Let's hang out sometime. So
awesome.
We
that's
now have
great.
social lives, you know?
Yeah. Heck, I feel like I don't.
Do you want to ask the next one, or do you want me to? I can ask all of them.
I can ask you.
Okay, ask me.
Well, it was your favorite TV dad.
Okay, I've said this one on record before. Whenever I think of a TV dad, like growing up, who did I see as a TV dad? Definitely Homer Simpson. Because I grew up on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So is Homer a good dad? No, he's an awful father figure. He's a drunk. He strangles his children. Like, he's not a good, and he's like the most selfish person ever. But anyway, yeah, Homer Simpson is who I think of whenever I think of a TV dad.
Okay.
As far as like a dad who I think actually has good fatherhood characteristics I want to model myself after, I don't know. What about you?
Okay. You can't, I mean, everybody says, well, I can't say Bill Cosby, but
As far as the character goes,
the character
good
was
character.
pretty damn spot on as being one of the best.
Yep.
Either him or Bandit from Bluey.
Yeah.
I mean, to have the energy mentally and physically to do everything that he does for his kids, it's something to live up to.
He's the standard no one can become.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, it's true. Next question is least favorite kids show or movie?
It's a hard one. I'll say TV show is Cocomelon. I just can't stand it, and it gives me anxiety trying to watch it.
It's so much stimulation.
We cut it off.
Yeah.
We've never done Caillou.
Yep.
Movie-wise, and it's just because we've watched it so many times, is Frozen. I'm really starting to get tired
Frozen
of
1 or 2?
Both of them.
Both of them? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because as soon as we get done watching Frozen 1, she wants to watch Frozen 2. So then, like, all right, next time it's Frozen 2.
Yes.
So we'll watch that, and then it's Frozen. Then it's
going.
Frozen 2. So having her watch something like The Muppets, Christmas Carol, or the Charlie Brown was amazing.
Just thank God.
Whenever she gets home, Elsa?
Yeah.
Frozen?
You're like, no.
Like, for the love of God, please, no. What about you?
Mine is probably like Super Kitties.
Okay.
It's so bad. It's like a Disney show in which it's like cats that are superheroes and they go and save the day. It's painful. Like,
so I think I've actually
Super Kitties, meow.
Watched it on accident.
It's not good. It's like, for some reason, it's just it strikes a chord with me where I just get annoyed the entire time. If they go to watch it, I immediately pull out my phone and start like playing Sudoku or something. And I'm like, I got 20 minutes of Sudoku. Here we go. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Favorite kids toy?
Ooh. We don't do it as much, but Marble Run.
What is that?
It's like where it's like you build like a tower and you put a marble in the top and it goes all the way down and stuff.
Cool.
Josh had Holly is very like almost like engineer minded, and Josh is fascinated by things. So it was almost like I would like build a massive tower for like marbles and then put it down there, and Josh would like sit there and cheer, and Holly would help me be like, but can we add this? Can we add this? And Magnolia, being the like extreme middle child, would just go like run around and do something else while we were doing that. But I feel like Marble Run is super fun. Lots of elements for creativity and just teaching like basic science.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, as simple as it is, just a bouncy ball.
Yeah.
She'll get on one side of the hallway, I'll get on the other, and then we will just toss it back to each other. And she will just giggle and laugh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she can, because of that, she's got an arm on her now.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So hopefully she'll have a good time tossing the softball with me later on. I think that's something that I look forward to.
Of course,
which
it's
goes
fun.
into the next question.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Justin, what's a moment of your kid's life that you are most excited to be a part of?
That was part of it.
Yes!
Just doing
No double dipping on answers.
Which is just, I mean, a lot of people say the wedding, which is something that I definitely look forward to, but doing the same thing that me and my dad did, where we'd either be out playing basketball, shooting, just me and him, or when he would be just tossing the baseball to me, and I'd just be hitting it in the backyard or front yard. So doing something like that with her, whether it's soccer, softball, basketball, whatever it is, just being one-on-one with her.
Yeah,
I think it will be awesome.
It will be.
What about you?
So I already have, I'm not going to say the weddings for the girls, but I do already have both the first dance songs picked out for Holly and Magnolia.
Oh, wow.
If they wanted it to happen.
Okay.
Because they have distinct moments with them while listening to those songs whenever they were little.
Okay.
So one is obscure as hell. It's the Decemberist, I'll Be Your Girl. Whenever it came out in 2018, Holly was like super young. Magnolia was just born. And like one of the few phrases Holly could say at that young of an age was, "Daddy, be your girl," over and over again. It doesn't work as a wedding song. Like, it's weird. I don't know if I'll keep it, but like as far as like sentimental value, 100%.
There you go.
And
you still have plenty of time.
Yes, and probably Letting You Go by Jason Isbell for Magnolia, which is like the entire song is about letting your daughter go at the altar to let her go on to her new life, basically, because that album came out in like 2020, so Magnolia would have been 2. So like similar, I feel like around 2, your ability to connect with your kid like changes drastically.
It does, man.
But I think most of the things that I'm intrigued by or fascinated by are elements of the family that you came from that you then get the opportunity to pass down to your kids.
Yeah.
So like the ability to cook. Like if I bake something, Magnolia is the one who wants to help out the most.
That's cool.
Holly is very into reading books like constantly. So she just started reading Harry Potter and Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, wow.
And like
Harry Potter.
She's read the first 2 books.
Wow.
On her own, like without us helping her. And
That's
actually
impressive.
grasping, has the concepts down. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
But like that, or like, she's read almost all the Calvin and Hobbes books I have, which like Calvin and Hobbes is like part of my DNA, I guess is the best way to put it. So like things like that are the things where I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Because it's not just like watching your kid discover something, but it's also like the reality that you can share families from you can share stories from your family that then can potentially become part of your child also.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are all culminations of the love that's been passed on down to us. So
Amen,
it's a great
brother.
way for that to be real and to realize that that's part of what it is.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot of good things to look forward to.
Yeah, man. So other just housekeeping note, since we are the next 2 weeks are Christmas, or it's New Year, it's Christmas Eve and New Year's. We won't be recording for the next 2 weeks. So we are going to take a little break from releasing new episodes so we don't burn through all of our stockpiled episodes.
Episode of 2023.
Yep. And we will probably start releasing new ones on January 15th. So we're just going to take like a little 2-week break and then hit back to recording on like the 7th.
It's a 2-week break well needed.
Yeah, man. But Justin, it's been a really fun year. We don't have any plans for next year besides just doing more of the same.
Nope, just keep doing more of the same and building on it. And hopefully, I mean, even if it doesn't blow up, we've met so many cool people. Yeah. And that's awesome. Yep. And we've affected people's lives, which is even better.
That's a great honor to be a part of.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Sweet.
Devon.
See you next year, guys.
See you next year.
Thanks again for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Nashville Dads and to subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify podcast. We record at New Light Podcast Studio and episodes are produced by me, Devon.